Hi, guys. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you. How are you? How's your week been? Thank God it's Friday. Uh, I'm stressed out. That's how my own week has been. Um, but it's been a productive week. So, how's your own week been? I'd like to hear from you. Hi, Prince Car. Hi, Iwalala Shobowale. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi guys, how are you? Thank you for joining this evening. I see some people joining on LinkedIn and some others on YouTube. So you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Priska says, You look different today. Yeah, my hair is in a braid. So yeah, I look different. Okay, so I'd like to get to it ASAP as quickly as possible. So those that are not here will join us later on. So today we are going to be doing research analysis. It's not much of a talking session. Into the practical part of UX design gradually. We are now getting to that part. So research analysis is basically that part of UX design that you do after you've conducted a research. So you've gone out, you've you've done your research, you basically conducted your interview, your focus group, your survey, whatever it may be. You've gone ahead, you've done that. And then now it's time to make use of the data you've gathered. So that's basically what research analysis is about. So that's what we'll be dealing with today. Last week we had a Ask Me Anything session where I took questions actually, of questions as regards career, as regards um, developing as a UX designer. Basically, a lot of questions. So if you missed that one, make sure you go back to our YouTube channel and just watch it. I want to use this opportunity to remind you to subscribe and like the video so that it can recommend it to other people on YouTube, especially, even on LinkedIn as well, to recommend to other people to also watch the video. That will be valuable for them. Hi, Sophiat. Welcome. Okay, so let's see. So, research analysis can be done in different ways. So, like I said, research analysis is something that you do after you carried out your research. So, that means you would have some evidence of carrying out the research. Probably, what's it called? Um, audio recordings or video recordings or pictures, notes you've taken, and all those kind of things. So, basically, that this is what you do at that point in time. I want to quickly ask how many of you have carried out your research? I got some people's research plan, some people's updated research plan during the week. I got some other people's new research plan as well. Some people just started their own. So I want to know how many people have actually carried out their research. How many of you have talked to up to five people, between three to five people? Just let me know what's up with that. How has that been for you? What were your experiences when it came to research? Did you encounter some problem? Is there something you'd like me to address? So I'd like to hear about that. If you haven't, this is the phase where we do our research analysis, and this is where we um, we go to the next level after doing the last assignment that I gave. I think last 2 weeks. So you've had basically 1 to 2 weeks to carry out your research. So I want to hear how it was for you. If you haven't done it, let me know what's up and what you're thinking of doing. What are your plans? So let me hear from you. Okay, so while I wait for that, I want to quickly share something. So, uh, just a sec, just a second. Okay, so one of the methods that we use to analyze our research data or research results is what is called affinity mapping. There's so many ways of doing a research analysis, but I usually focus on affinity mapping in my sessions. I'll however, send an email that includes some resources to this. I will play a video for you guys in 2 or 3 minutes. So affinity mapping, which is what I just said now, is let me write this on the screen for those that are taking notes and would like to do some research later. Affinity mapping. So affinity mapping is basically a research method. It's basically a method of analyzing your data after you've conducted extensive research. We do this, we do affinity mapping to basically retrieve or get meaningful insights. So you've carried out research and found out a lot of stuff. People said all sort of things about your project. For instance, for someone that is working on solving the problem of traffic, say in for BRT buses, for those that are in Nigeria, Lagos especially, you understand what that means. That's basically a form of transportation system where there's a lot of queue at the bus stops, but there are buses somewhere, probably they are not properly redirected to where the traffic really exists. So someone is working on that project. I got a research plan for that. Or someone that is working on what was that? I got another interesting one a couple of days back. Let me see. I had it open just a second ago. Okay, so someone sent in something on NHIS. That's basically the health system here in Nigeria, or the government. I think the government health system, health insurance system. So for someone that is working on, depending on whatever it is you are working on, you will have spoken to a lot of people or a number of people, and you have a lot of data. Like I told you guys last week and the week before, make sure you record the sessions. Make sure you record the sessions so that you can get as much data as possible. So I think I got one more interesting. There were a lot of interesting ones actually, to be honest. I think there was one more I was looking at earlier today. Let's see. What was that? I think somebody. Where is it? Where is it? Let's see. Okay, someone did something on. I think somebody did something on WhatsApp. Different, basically. So basically, this phase of what we are doing, there are different tools that you can use to analyze your data. One of which is Miro. Miro is spelled Miro. Miro. So basically, it's just a whiteboard. So it's either you use a digital tool like Miro or like FigJam. So FigJam is an extra. It's actually created by Figma, the same Figma company that we would also work with in some weeks' time. But if you don't know any of that, ignore it for now. Basically, you could also decide to use traditional, let me fetch this, sticky notes and your pen. So I have the sticky notes here. I'll show you guys how to use this. Where you write down something, you peel up the paper and you can stick it on your wall or on a table, whatever it may be. So that's how you do your research analysis. So I will open up Miro and then I'll show you guys how we do this. Miro.com. So Miro is spelled Miro, like I said. And for you to open it, you go to Miro.com. Miro.com. It's a free, it's actually a tool that you can use for free. And okay, so let us see this one. Excuse me, I'm trying to open it up. Let me share my screen with you guys. Share screen, and you can see this. Okay, please let me know if there's any difficulty. If you can hear me clearly, please let me know. If you cannot hear me clearly, let me know. If you can see my screen also, let me know. If you cannot see my screen, let me know. Okay, so this is mirror.com. Basically, what you do to open mirror.com is to basically go to, so let me just open this, mirro.com, and it brings you to the landing. Okay, I'm logged in already. So if I wasn't logged in, this is what it would look like. Mirror, mirror. Okay, so this is what mirror.com looks like. You basically simply create your own account, sign up for free. It's free to use, though there are paid versions. But for the purpose of this training, you have you can have this. Please let me know that you can see my screen. I'm assuming you can, but if you can't, please let me know. Um, yeah, so I'm assuming you can see my screen. Okay, so oh, thank you, Prince. All clear. Yes, thank you. So, yes, basically you create your account. Me that I already have an account, I'll just click on login. I'll sign in. I think I created my account with Google, so I'll go ahead and just sign in. And here is my board. I will open. I cannot remember what was here, but basically for your free version, you have up to three boards for free before it locks down the remaining ones as view only. You basically will not be able to edit anything. So let me just see one of the ones that I think we can just work with. I think this one I have some things there, but I would, if you're just opening your own for the first time, it looks something like this, just basically plain white wall, like the wall behind me. So okay. So if then also there'll be no title here. So basically, this is where you put you edit your board setting. You can basically put your title. You can put a description here if you like. And then when you're done, if you want to share with stakeholders, you can click on share. But we'll get to that maybe later on. So the tools, all the tools you need for Miro are on the left. So Miro is a tool used for research. During research, it's used mostly during research for, I mean, in the context of UX design. Um, just like it is fig jam, and then you can use sticky notes if you like. So these are the tools here. Here you have templates, but I'll go straight to sticky notes, which is what we need, which is the equivalent of the sticky notes I showed you guys a moment ago. So basically like this. So an equivalent of this one sheet would be me clicking on this on the wall on the board. So if I click on this, I can choose any color I want. Let me just choose this regular color and tap here. So that's basically how to use Miro. Yeah, so you just tap there. Now, how do you actually analyze? So what you do in this sense, what I do is I basically put on my recording tool. Probably I use my phone to record the session with a particular participant, and then I'll write P1, so participant one. I could just use that to represent. Then I could write the person's name if I got a name. So I'll just say Toby as a name here, and then that's basically the person's biodata, whatever other things I got as person's biodata that is relevant to my research, I'll put it here. If I got the person's age, let's say the person said they were 28, I'll put that here. So basically, this first one is where I put my biodata. Then the next thing that would happen is I could then duplicate it. I just to duplicate you press Control D or Command D. So Control D on Windows, Command D on Mac. So so I'll just delete everything. Now let's say I was doing this research for a travel app. That was what I was doing on this particular board before. So somebody wants to work on a travel app, and then maybe you want to find out the difficulties people are having in maybe booking tickets, or maybe in yeah, maybe booking tickets, or maybe you are trying to solve a problem around, let me think of one, maybe problem around flying with children. Let me say, for instance, maybe that was a problem you're trying to solve. Then you probably will have spoken to maybe parents, mothers, and fathers, and basically understand what the difficulty might have been. So whatever it is that you found out, maybe I spoke to Toby, participant, who is 28 years old, and maybe he said or she said something along the line of, um, Okay, frustrating. Okay, let me say frustrated to board planes with children. And then maybe one of your questions was maybe you asked a question somewhere in the recording that how many children do you have? And then you say, oh, I have three children. So three children. So you write that down. Then maybe somewhere along the line you're like, okay, maybe a follow-up question to how many children do you have could have been maybe what's their age range. It might be relevant to that research for you to know their age range so that you can know how they could board planes, what arrangements could be made for them, maybe from the booking the ticket and all those kind of things. So maybe she said they are below, all below, excuse me, all below 5 years old. Has two a 9 months old boy, for instance. So now you see what I'm doing. I'm actually documenting the all the data that I got from this particular participant, and I'll put everything here. So I'll go ahead and document every single relevant data. Now it's not every single thing the person said that you document, but relevant data is what you document. So also try to when you note down the research, try to put it in as much of a excuse me, as much of a what's it called, quotes as possible. Let it be as much of direct quotes as possible. So if the person actually says something, write it the way they said it. From that, you will gain a lot of insights later on. At this point in time, you're only documenting. You're not trying to analyze or think anything. Just document what they said or what they did. Now, during your research, somebody could say something, especially if you're doing a video research and you can see their body language. Somebody could be saying something to mean something, but could actually their body language be saying something else to mean the opposite. So you would note that down. So it's not just what they said, it's not just what you heard, it's also what it could also be what you noticed, what you observed. So you note everything down. So everything for participant one, can put them on one line. I try to do that on one line. So I'm just basically duplicating all of this. And so let's say all the data for participant one. I'll leave it alone. The next thing will now be participant two. So if I spoke up to three or maybe five participants, I'll basically document everything. So here I'll say P2. I'll write the person's name if I got it. Maybe for this one, it's a Tosin. And then how this person, maybe this person is 35 years old. Basically, again, I'll do the same thing. I'm still listening at this point in time. I'm listening to the recording, right? And I'll just basically document everything this person said. So I will not go into let's see. I won't go into breaking it down. I won't go into getting real data. But if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop it. Somebody said I should zoom in. Okay, I'm zooming in now. So this is zooming in. Please let me know if you have any question or you want me to repeat something. I can still do that within the next few minutes. So I'm basically just going to duplicate all of this and on. Let's say this person said a lot of stuff and then it's all the way down. What I like to do is to color code my research. So I will just drag my cursor over this line and change the color. So as I drag my cursor, as I basically once you choose a particular sticky note or couple of sticky notes, this menu comes up, which you can now choose the color from here. And let's say I want to change this one to maybe purple. Basically, just to color code it. Oh, this is a different participant. So I like to do that. You see why that might make sense in a moment. Then I'll do exactly the same thing for participant three, participant four, participant five, as many participants it is that I spoke to, and then I've just duplicated this, but you most likely will not be duplicating, of course, because you have real data. So you probably will just get sticky notes and document for all of them. Then you'd let's say I'll just change the color, maybe blue. Basically, the same thing all over again. And so let me just duplicate this up to 5 times. so I can show you guys where the analysis part of this comes in. Okay. By the way, if you sent in your research plan and I have not giving you a feedback, please just send a follow-up email, like in the same email thread, so that I can remember. I feel like I've responded to everybody except one person. If I missed yours by any means, please go ahead, just let me know. Um, okay. Let's see. If I told you also to make some changes to your research plan, please go ahead and make your changes. Don't dwell on it. Though. Don't waste time. Okay, so now I have for 5 participants with varying things that they said. So I just do not want to spend the time to get real data, but this will be varying things if you actually documented what you learned. Thank you, Ademola. Love your teaching of research analysis. Well done, Grace. Thank you. Okay, so basically where the analysis part comes in. So what I will do so that this can make sense to you guys, I will fetch another set of research that I have from somewhere else that I did in a previous lesson, and then we'll use that to analyze. That will make it make sense more. So um in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions and I will get to it. Please don't wait till I reach the end of it before you tell me that I did not understand anything we have been doing. That would be tough, guys. That would be very tough for me to help at that point in time. Okay, I have one. Let me let me share my screen again. Okay, so this here is a particular one I did in a previous session. So basically, yeah, it was not much data, but basically, if you did your research properly, you have way more than this. So I will duplicate this old board and come down here. I want us to focus only on this part, ignore every other thing for now. So this person conducted an interview. So interview result. This is a frame, so I didn't show you guys that earlier on. I only showed you guys how you create your stuff. So what I will do now to show you how this works is I will just drag this off and do it from scratch so that you can get it. So this is where we stopped while I was showing you guys a moment ago. Now for you to create a frame, you simply come here. This is frame right here. You click on it and you can just drag over it, or you can choose anyone you want, but I would just drag over and that automatically create a frame behind. So what happens with the frame is that now I can drag the whole thing and all of my sticky notes that were inside that particular frame will move along with it. And so now I can double click where frame one is and rename it. So I will just say interview results. Okay. Now, how do you analyze your data? What you do is you take this particular frame, click on it, and just click on Ctrl D or Command D. And then I will just rename this as Affinity Map. I will delete the names of the people. We no longer need their names. Don't bother if I'm too fast. There's going to be a replay and you can easily just replay it. So now this is the data I got from people. So what we need to do now is to find the common things that people said and put them together. And if you were doing this with actual sticky notes on your wall, and let's say I similar to what I was saying, you use maybe this color for maybe participant one, and then you chose to use a different color of sticky notes. There's some sticky notes in supermarkets or in bookshops. And then I used it for participant two, and maybe I used this one for participant three. And then I had all the sticky notes on my wall. What I would do now is what we're about to do, which is to pick a sticky note and put them together, the ones that have relevant common data, and you put them together. So that's what we're about to do. Now, someone said I need comfort on my flight. So I'll just drag this to one side and find anything else that has something to do with comfort. Okay, so this is something about comfortable seats. Someone said no eating charges. I need affordable flight. Okay, want cheap plane ticket. This looks like it's together. So yeah, I'm just grouping them together. I want food on the flight. Okay. Refunds for flight cancellation. Safety is most important to me, so I'll put this here. My luggages must be safe. I can put them together. So I'm already trying to create a commonalities. There should be disability inclusive. Okay. When the flight is cancelled, I want my money back. So that's about refunds. Okay. So I can put this together with refunds. I want to know when my flight schedule is changed. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. Probably just put this on one side first. No delay in my flight at all. Okay. I don't know yet. I'll just put it here. Hotel reservation that fits my budget. So this is about money. So I'll put this here. Inform me of discounts on time. Okay, let's just leave it there. So you see what I'm just doing is basically just putting things that are similar together. That is the meaning of affinity. Things that are affiliated together. Okay, so let's see. I want the whole process done for me. I don't mind paying. Timely flights. Timely flights. I want to know when my flight schedule is changed. Okay, so this can go together. More travel destination. I would love installments payment, so I can put that together with discounts. Discounts on family travels. Okay. Book me into a hotel when airline cancels my flight. Okay, so this is about cancellation basically. No delay in my flight at all. I don't know. Well, ability to travel to my 1 year old without paying for tickets. Okay. So for this particular one, I got input from participants of the session, and that was how we came up with it. So different people were just saying different stuff, but in a real life session, you'll be getting this from your from what's it called, from your research data. That's your recording or whatever it is that you did. Nobody gave me a feedback into whether they did their research or not, whether anybody has done their research. So I assume that everybody listening to me right now has carried out their research, your interview or your focus group, based on the research plans that I've already seen. I'm going to assume that you've all done it and nobody had any problem since nobody said anything. Okay. No delay in my flight at all. Well, basically, so let me just tell you that sometimes when you're doing this, when you're trying to move things around, you might just get slightly confused. So what I do sometimes, I just take a walk and I'll come back in like 5, 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, and then I'll come back and look at it, and then some things will make sense. So it's not a process. It's not that you start this whole process all at once and up to the end and you do everything all at once. Not necessarily. If you can, awesome. But I usually advise people that when you get to this point and you're done doing the groupings, that you go ahead, take a walk, come back and see if the whole thing actually makes sense. Um, Okay, so I want food on the flight, more travel. So anyone that doesn't really that may not fit into any group, you can just leave them standing alone or just put them together in one session. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. But this is something you must spend much time on. Let me just tell you, this is very critical to the whole process. If you skip a step in the process of UX design, when you jump to creating the pretty stuff, you end up creating nonsense, stuff that the user would not resonate with, that will not be useful for them. This is how you get useful insights to be able to build usable products. This is how you do it. Okay. Let's see. Disability inclusive, no delay in my flight. I don't know where I should put that one for now. Okay, so somewhere. Okay, I think that fits into. Let me see. That fits into this. Okay, so for now, I'll just put these remaining ones. Why is it not working? Oh, what's going on? My board is misbehaving. Long press to unlock. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my bird. Something is wrong with my bird. I think okay. I must have mistakenly locked it. Okay, anyway, I'll just drag this down. So all the ones that I feel like I can't find a group for, I'll just put them together in one section. Now, What you now do with this is that you create a title, a relevant title or a relevant theme for each one of them. So now this one is saying I need comfort on my flight, comfortable seat. So this is basically about comfort. So I could different ways of doing this. You can go to sticky notes and maybe choose a different color that is different from everything you have on your board. I will just use black and I will say comfort on my trips. I'll just on trips. Okay, not my trips. Okay, comfort on trips. Why is the sticky note so big? Can resize them. So I'll just put it here. Let me drag this ones. Let me drag this ones down because it's blocking my view up there. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for all the rest of them, and you can always expand your frame by clicking on the title up there and dragging it to the right or all the way down. Okay, so that I can have more space for. Oh, my bad. I can have more space for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this one is talking about book me to hotel when airline cancel my travel. So this is talking about flight cancellation. So let me duplicate this black and I can write here and say airline cancellation. So that's not the spelling of cancellation. I think something is missing there. Okay, so I will not go into details of breaking down the rest of them, but basically, you can take each one of these, you look at each one of them, and then you create a relevant title for them, depending on the project that you're working on. So you create titles for them. That's basically what Affinity Map is. That's the short version of it. I said I was going to play a video, but I think my time is already running out. So Queenette says, it is my first time here. Okay, so yeah, a little bit late to the party, but not too late, like not extremely late. We have there are replays of the session on YouTube. So you can go ahead to the YouTube channel. Let me see, where are you joining from? You're joining from LinkedIn. So you can go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. Let me see. I think the name is somewhere. Command Design. Yeah, Command Design. You should just be able to find that on um on YouTube. Also, you would probably need to fill this form probably need to fill this form so that it can be added to the email list because I send emails to people that have their emails as regards the sessions and with resources as well. So you probably need to fill this form bit.ly/design with Grace Adiade. So if you're late to the party, okay, not too bad. Hi Abraham, nice work. Thank you. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I wanted to share a video with you guys. Let me see. Let me look at how many minutes it is again, and I'll see if I can play it now. Oof, it's 10 minutes. So 10 minutes is a lot of time. I'll play part of it and I'll most likely stop it. Then I'll send you guys a link. But basically, the video is specifically on what I just showed you guys is on how to conduct UX research analysis. How to conduct UX research analysis, and it was nicely broken down. So let me play a little bit of it. Please let me know when you can hear the audio so that I'm sure we're on the same page. Okay.
Specialist here at Career Foundry. Today I'm going to show you how to conduct user research analysis. This comes after you've done extensive user research, such as interviews, card sorting, questionnaires and surveys. No matter what research methods you use, the next step is to turn your raw data into valuable insights. What does the data mean? What does it tell you about the project you're designing and the people you're designing it for? How can you use the data you've gathered to inform the design process? To conduct user research analysis, you first need to organize all the data you've gathered. Then you'll start to define and categorize your data, identifying patterns and common themes. At the same time, you'll synthesize your findings, pulling out meaningful insights. Finally, you'll turn these insights into something concrete that can be shared with and understood by all key stakeholders. Now, that all sounds quite complex, doesn't it? But
Okay, so someone is saying there is an echo, so that's why I had to quickly get feedback. Okay, so you know what? Like I said, I was only going to play part of it. I play this so that you know that everything I teach, I'm teaching you, is not my personal opinion. It's world standard, right? So what I'll do is, like I said, I'll send an email after this session, probably tonight. So look out for an email from me tonight. Oh, somebody said video was clear. There's an echo, video is clear. Okay, fine. Anyway, look out for an email from me tonight that will give you some more insight into how you can break this down. Also, you can feel free to replay this session and get um insights that you didn't get from now. So, I like to point out to you guys that there is a difference between findings and insight. And I think this guy talked about it in this video. Findings is exactly what you found out during your research. That is what the participant said or did or whatever. Insight, however, is different. Insight is the insight is basically the actionable data or actionable stuff, actionable information that you gain from the findings. For instance, let's say different people said different things, like the one we're looking at just now. Someone said, I need comfort on my flight. Somebody else said, oh, I want comfortable seat. So maybe an insight from that would be comfort is very important to participant. That's an insight. So you could have asked a follow-up question during your interview to do like, okay, are you having problems with comfort? What airlines are you flying that doesn't provide you the comfort you seek? So those might give you some insights to the kind of airlines that might be listed on your own platform or whatever the case may be. So um, that's basically the difference between findings and insight. But I think he broke that down better there. But you can also go ahead to research on that. Everything that I'm teaching you guys in these classes, in these sessions, are not exhaustive. They are not things that I would say, oh, I've taught you guys everything. Nope. So I can only scratch the surface and teach as much as I can teach within the limit of time. But it's your job to go ahead and do much more. There's one more thing I intended to do today before we wrap up the session today, and I want to show you guys. I know I've showed this in the earlier session, somewhere in the beginning of this whole sessions, but I want to show you guys the point of this whole thing again, which is your portfolio. What your portfolio should look like and what makes up your portfolio. So a portfolio is basically the evidence that you know what you're doing. It's basically the evidence that a potential employer, a potential client can trust you enough to deliver on what you say you can deliver. So, in many fields, their CV is enough, but not so here. People don't really care much about your CV per se. Yeah, it's good, but they care more about your portfolio. And what makes your portfolio is or are case studies. So what we are trying to work on for the next couple of weeks, actually. So this is going to be like a 3 to 4 months session, and we're on the second month now, are basically case studies. We're working on a case study, at least one case study. It's recommended for you to go ahead when you get the knowledge, build up more. I will be available for a short period of time after this whole thing to review your case studies still for free for a while. And so basically I want to share my screen with you guys so that you can see what a case study looks like. I know I've showed you guys this before, but I'm on behance.net. So you can go to behance.net and you see different case studies. Behance.net. Behance is spelled BHANCE.net. And I'll just go to the search place and I'll probably say, let me see, what do I want to see? Let me just say a travel app. Let me say travel app case study. So you see a lot of them. So let me just say UX research. I'm curious to see what I'll find there. Okay, so there is this one. I can open this a new tab. Okay, so there are several of them. So these are UX case studies of somebody. So a case study usually has like an overview session or a background. You could call overview or a background, which will basically tell you you can pick this from your research plan, which is part of why I tell you don't skip the process. If I tell you to do something, there's a reason for it. So you can pick this, then you can pick your role. What is it that you did across the whole project? What was your role? If it was a group project, for instance, what is it that you contributed to the project? You specifically list it. So that's something that is usually on all case studies. So some people can call it about, while some people can call it background, some people can call it overview, but basically it's still the same thing. Then the motivation behind it, some people basically break this down into a different section. How long did you spend on it? Some people do this. Everything is not compulsory, but basically the most important things are your overview or your background, the exact problem you're trying to solve, what challenges people are facing. These are things that you pick from your research. And so I'm just showing you guys this to let you understand the whole point of everything. Oh, you guys were not seeing the screen I was trying to show. I opened it in a different tab, so you guys were not seeing this. Nobody even said anything. Okay, so let me show the screen I was trying to show. Okay, this is what I was trying to show you guys. So this project timeline. So these are different ones, but basically you could click on any one of it from that initial screen I was showing you guys, and you can view different people's case studies. Let me show you this other one that I am seeing. This looks really nicely thought out. This one, no, not that one. Okay. So sharing screen on this app I'm using is a bit not too intuitive. What's this called? Okay, this is it. One second, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, so this is one I was trying to show you guys. So project overview. I think I like what this person has, how this person broke theirs down. Design process, user research. So this is basically what you send a potential client, a potential employer, to show that okay, I've done something along this line. Some people. So this empathy mapping. This is another way to analyze data aside from affinity mapping. So if you did affinity mapping, which is what we did today, you put a screenshot of that somewhere here. So you put affinity mapping. There's empathy map, like I just said. Then we are going to do with personas. I'll send you guys something on personas that you would read or watch. And so basically that's that. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're coming to the end of the session already. Um please go ahead and ask your questions or your observations or your comments, and I'll try to attend to them now. So uh yeah, so that's it about analyzing your data. That's the extent to which I will go for this. The next thing you most likely do after this, like I mentioned a moment ago, is documenting user personas. We call it user persona. Let me spell it out for you. User persona. So that's user persona. So user persona is basically, let me just touch on that a bit. It's basically a fictional yet realistic representation of your target user or target audience, of the solution you're proposing. So basically it's you looking at, you spoke to 3 or 4 or 5 people, who is the ideal person we're going to target based on this group of people we have spoken to, and that's a user persona. So afterwards we'll work on your user flow, but before that I think we're going to do some ideation. Let's see. Okay, so the next step, which is next week we are going to deal with personas, ideation. How do you ideate? Basically, how to come up with ideas as solution, and also user flows, drawing out user flows. So we'll try to do all of this next week, Friday. Please, by that time, the submission I'm expecting by Wednesday. Please let your submissions be latest by Wednesday so that I can be able to have the time to review this. By Wednesday, what I'm expecting is your mirror board. I expect that your mirror board will already be filled out. You've done your research and you've documented it. If you're already behind, nothing to worry about. Try to watch the videos. When you watch the videos, then you know what the assignments are. But the major assignments for now that you need to catch up with are your research plan. That's your research plan. Send that to me, let me approve it. Carry out your research with 3 to 5 people. Carry out your research, and then you go ahead to analyze data like we've done today. So those are the steps. Those I think that you would have missed. I think that's for like Queenette and maybe some other people that are just watching this. Okay, so I don't have any questions for today. That's really good. So I like that people are now like calming down, like, okay, this is the real deal now. So people, it looks like you guys don't really want to ask questions. Like, okay, I think I need to watch this again, which is good. So please, go ahead, watch this again. If you have any questions, I am open to questions. Just send me an email at commanddesign.africa@gmail.com. The same email I've been using to send you guys emails. Just send an email to that, and I'll respond as quickly as I can. That's the email on the screen there. Respond as quickly as I can. So, any question, really, don't spend too much time racking your head. If you are having difficulties on the project, on your project, which you came up by yourself with, um, I can help. So, after next week will be second week of March. Then the upper week we might have an overflow from next week. Depends on how next week's session go. But the last week of this month, which it's March, the last week of March, we are going to be having the session we should have had last week, which is an expert in user research coming to answer all those questions you have. So if you have any more questions on user research, on being a user researcher, which is a niche, which is a specialization in UX design, if you have any questions, please go ahead, still send it to the email. I'm still compiling questions for her, and she's delighted. She's going to be delighted to answer your questions on the last week of this month. So again, I would like to tell you guys, and like I used to say in the email, this is a free session. So feel free to tell somebody else that you know might benefit from this. All the videos are on YouTube, so everybody can still go back and replay them. And again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and so that you can get notification. Like today, I didn't send any email this week. I didn't send any email before this session. I didn't send any reminders, because if you're subscribed to the YouTube, you get notified on your device. If you're following on LinkedIn, you would have gotten a notification. Lillian says, I'm here to get a review for my research plan. I am sorry, I might have missed it. So please, within the same email trail, just put send me a new email, respond to your own email and say, oh, this is it, that I've not given you feedback on it. Anybody that I've not given feedback, please just send me a follow-up email. Thank you. So thank you very much, guys, for coming to today's session, and I hope to read from you. I'll send the email I promised this evening. I hope to read from you guys, and see you next week, Friday, right? Okay. So bye bye, guys. Bye 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 bye. Enjoy your weekend. Don't play too much. Do my assignments. Send it in time. All right, guys. Bye.